From Neural Newscast, this is Deep Dive, exploring the moments that shape today.
Welcome to Deep Dive. I'm Claire Donovan.
And I'm Frederick Moore. Today is March 17th, a date most people link with parades and celebrations. But back in 1969, it marked a massive shift in the political landscape of the Middle East.
Exactly. That shift centered on Golda Meir. At 70 years old, she was elected as Israel's first female prime minister. History records show she was only the country's fourth prime minister overall, and to this day, she remains the only woman to have held that office.
She was such an interesting figure, Claire. She was born in Kiev, but actually spent her formative years in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She started out as a Zionist labor organizer, which gave her a real sense of the grassroots mechanics of building a nation long before she ever stepped into a formal government role.
Right, and she definitely brought a wealth of experience to the table. She had already served as the Minister of Labor and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but her move to the premiership was quite sudden after the unexpected death of the previous leader. She wasn't just a figurehead, though. She was an incredibly savvy diplomat who led the nation through the existential threat of the Yom Kippur War in 1973.
That war really became the defining moment of her time in office. Israel did emerge victorious after those surprise attacks by Egypt and Syria, but the heavy loss of life brought on a lot of public criticism regarding preparedness. Between the physical toll of the war and her own health, she ended up resigning in 1974.
It is a powerful legacy. And while Meir was navigating those political waters, the cultural landscape was being shaped by some remarkable people born on this day. Let's start with a voice that defined an entire era, Nat King Cole, born in 1919.
Absolutely. Cole was much more than a legendary jazz pianist or the voice behind classics like Unforgettable. He was a true trailblazer. He became the first African-American to host a national television variety show, which was a huge cultural milestone during a time of intense segregation in the United States.
He had such a steady, dignified presence. And speaking of presence, we have two Hollywood mainstays sharing a birthday today as well. First, Rob Lowe, born in 1964. He managed that rare transition from the teenage stardom of the Brat Pack in movies like The Outsiders to becoming a television staple on The West Wing and Parks and Recreation.
Lowe has definitely shown incredible staying power. And then there is Gary Sinise, born in 1955. Most of us know him as Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump or from his years on CSI New York. But his legacy is really tied to his tireless humanitarian work supporting veterans through his foundation.
It is really inspiring to see how he turned a fictional role into a lifelong mission for real-world heroes. Now, Frederick, while we're on the subject of legends, I want to look at a record set on this day over a century ago that still stands today.
You're talking about the boxing ring, right? On March 17, 1908, the Canadian heavyweight champion Tommy Burns defended his title against Jem Roche at the Theatre Royal in Dublin. The crowd didn't have to wait long for a result.
No way! It barely took any time at all. Burns knocked out Roche in just 88 seconds. That is 1 minute and 28 seconds to decide a world heavyweight title fight. According to records on onthisday.com, it remains the quickest heavyweight title knockout in boxing history.
Remarkable. From the fastest fights to the long, complex leadership of Golda Meir, March 17th really shows us that history is made in both the split seconds and the decades-long struggles.
It really does. Thank you for joining us for another look into the moments that shaped our world. I'm Claire Donovan.
And I'm Frederick Moore. You can find more daily history at deepdive.neuralnewscast.com. Deep Dive is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. Explore history every day on Neural Newscast.
This has been Deep Dive on Neural Newscast, exploring the moments that shape today.